Somebody please explain to me how this is possible. This team can't seem to beat the Wizards, but they can beat the best teams in the league. 10 games in the NBA today, and we start in Atlanta, where the Hawks might just run the Eastern Conference. What the? This one a rematch from the other night, and this is much more what you would expect with the 17-2 Cavs in the first. Cleveland got off to a good start in this one, but late in the first, it's like deja vu all over again for the Cavs. Second quarter, this is the man that was burning them in Cleveland. DeAndre Hunter for three. Remember, Trae Young had 22 assists in their last meeting. There's one to Hunter again. Cleveland down by 6. Early stages of the third quarter, Darius Garland doing his part. But later in the third, it was just too much Atlanta. The Great Barrier Thief with the steal. That would lead to a slam for Jalen Johnson, and then Trae behind the back again to DeAndre. Very next possession, Hawks up 13. There's Trae Young. Remember, this is the same team that the Wizards have beaten twice this season. The only team the Wizards have beat. But tonight, they also became the only team to have beaten Cleveland twice and to have beaten Boston twice. Hawks have a great social media page, by the way. Look at what they had to say about it after the game. And with that win, Atlanta is headed to the next round of the in-season tournament. Meanwhile, Cleveland will meet Boston on Sunday. Let's see who wins that matchup. Meanwhile, in Minnesota today, two teams going in polar opposite directions of late. The Wolves have lost 7 of 9. They've lost 4 in a row. Meanwhile, the Clippers have been playing really well, and so is James Harden. Harden had 43 the other game against the Wizards, looking to keep it going in Minnesota. Wolves starting to find a little bit of a groove here in the second quarter. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Minnesota up by 7 in the second. A lot of their early season struggles have been without their veteran presence, Mike Conley. Clippers, though, hovering around here in the third quarter. Amir Coffey with the finish. Remember, this Clippers team without Norman Powell again today. Fourth quarter, Minnesota up by 3. That is supposed to be their identity. The defensive end of the floor, Naz Reid with a big block, then moments later on the other end, Dante DiVincenzo finding that three-point stroke. 4:20 to go, Wolves up by only 1. Remember, they blew a late lead against Sacramento the other night, and now it's deja vu for them. Harden a 4-point play. Minnesota down by 1, desperate for a win. Edwards gives them a huge bucket late. They're up by 1, 30 seconds to go. Alexander Walker no good, but then Chris Dunn falls down. That would give Minnesota a new shot clock. The Clippers would elect not to foul. Minnesota would take the clock all the way down. And then with 7 seconds on the shot clock, Randall attacks. They give it to Conley. He misses, but they get another rebound and the clock expires. This is what it's all about for this Wolves team. Anthony Edwards, quote, "We talked as a team how we want to win and change it around and get back to who we are defensively." Speaking of defense, very little of it being played in Chicago today between the Bulls and the defending champs. Boston off to a great start in the first quarter. Here comes Kristaps Porzingis. Celtics up by 10 already. Did you know they average 50 three-point attempts a game? Second quarter, though, Bulls now up by 5, and there is Lonzo Ball. Very next possession, Lonzo on defense. He is such a winning player, and now they're out and running, and Zach LaVine hitting the turnaround, hitting the fadeaway. Tough shot. Third quarter, Bulls up by 2, find the shooter. There's Giddey swinging it around the horn to Vucci Main for 3. Fourth quarter, Bulls down by 2. The Celtics may be the champs, but the Bulls have Talen Horton-Tucker. Celtics down by 1, though, and here comes Peyton Pritchard. 8:50 to go. Celtics up by 1. Close your eyes if you're a Bulls fan. My goodness, Jaylen Brown. The Bulls learned a hard lesson that everybody has learned this season. If you don't bring an A-plus effort, it's hard to beat this team. Celtics up by 4, 5.5 minutes to go. Peyton Pritchard putting on an offensive clinic. And now this is what just makes them so unfair. Good defense by Vooch, it doesn't matter. A balanced effort for Boston as they win their 7th in a row. Peyton Pritchard really is looking like a 6th man of the year right now, isn't he? Lakers and Thunder today from LA. I made a full recap of this game on my page if you want to check it out. Moral of the story, SGA is that dude. Him and Hartenstein. What a pickup Hartenstein was. Staying in the West, Pelicans and Grizzlies. Boy, is it fun to see Ja Morant back in the lineup. Morant with an immediate impact in this first quarter, taking it away from DeJounte Murray, getting it to go and 1. Second quarter, Pelicans still decimated by injuries. No Brandon Ingram for them tonight, but DeJounte's back. Pelicans keeping it close in this first half. John Morant defying the laws of physics. Grizzlies up by 9. End of the first half. This Grizzlies team is quietly climbing the ranks in the West. Defense leading to offense. Kennard to Santi Aldama. And then in the third, it's hang time for Ja. Grizzlies controlled from start to finish. Santi Aldama does not get the credit he deserves as a six-man. Make that 5 wins in a row for Memphis. Ja Morant, 27-7 in only 29 minutes. Early matinee game today was the Hornets and the Knicks. The Hornets without LaMelo Ball, missing a ton of players. It wasn't pretty, but the Knicks got the job done behind Jalen Brunson, a 1-point win. If you want to catch the full recap of this game, it is on my page. Orlando and Brooklyn tonight. Brooklyn looking to stay hot after that incredible 3-0 road trip on the West Coast. Jalen Wilson with a 3. Few moments later, Jalen Wilson again. For this Orlando team, though, no easy challenge. KCP, the beautiful pass inside to Franz. Orlando is third in the East for a reason. That reason is their defense. The rookie, Tristan da Silva, the steal, Franz the layup. Orlando up by 10 late in the first half, starting to separate. Franz again. Third quarter and more magic. KCP starting to find his groove on the Magic. Very next possession, check out the Orlando ball movement. Great ball movement to Wendell. And now they're out and running. Great ball movement again. An open corner 3 for Jalen Suggs. The Magic bring the Nets back down to earth a little bit. Franz Wagner, just another typical night for him. 29, 8, and 8. Did you know Orlando is 11-1 in their last 12 games? Next up, we have the Pistons and the Pacers today from Indiana. Pacers having won 3 in a row. But now tonight they're dealing with Detroit and Cade Cunningham back from injury. My goodness, Cade Cunningham pointed at him. Pistons up by 1 late in the first. It's safe to say that they missed this man. Detroit up by 12 midway through the second quarter. Just really impressive stuff from these Pistons. Jaden Ivey with the steal and the slam. Now in the third quarter, Ivey showing off the three-pointer. You see the score, the Pistons up by 18 and adding to it, Asar Thompson to Cade Cunningham. Speaking of Asar Thompson, Cade Cunningham is going to find him here in the corner. Look at the three-point shot. That looks really smooth. Pistons were in full control in this one. I couldn't have imagined this team doing this last season. This was the most impressive result of the night for me by far. Cade, 24-11-6. Jaden Ivey, 23-6-5. By the way, the Pistons went 3-0 in NBA Cup play. They might be headed to Vegas.
Emphasis on the scouting report. That's one of the things coach was really preaching to us is moving the ball. Back, boy. Hey, way to play, dog. We're going to Vegas, hey, one game at a time. Okay.
Staying in the East, Raptors in Miami. The Raptors coming off their first road win of the season. Raptors got the job done the other night in New Orleans, trying to make it 2 road wins in a row. End of the first half, Toronto's up by 4. Bam is going to drive here on Jakob Poeltl and kick it out to Jimmy Butler wide open with a rare 3. Miami's got a 5-point lead now in the third quarter, and Bam soaring down the lane in South Beach. 6-point Heat lead, 2:30 to go in the third. Kevin Love swinging it to Jaime Jaquez for 3. Jaquez was having himself a third quarter. Here he is again with the and one. Heat up big now. In the fourth, he's been so good in fourth quarters. Tyler Hero for 3. The Raptors lose, but Scotty Barnes with a triple-double. Miami goes above 500. Jimmy with 26-6. Hero with 23. Last but not least, Kings in Portland. Kings coming off a big road win in Minnesota. Sacramento off to a good start on the road in this one. Sabonis for 3. In the second quarter, though, here come those pesky Portland Trailblazers. Delano Banton the steal and the assist to Jabari Walker. Later in the second, Chauncey Billups has this group competing on the defensive end. Simons the steal and then dominating. Up by 4, end of the first half. Simons going to work against De'Aaron Fox. Down the lane, tough floater. Third quarter, they're up by 7 and more from Simons. Great pass to Denny Avdia. More from that Portland defense now. Denny the block. And that would lead to this on the other end. Kamara probing the paint to Simons, leaving it for dominating. Portland up by 14 at home, early stages of the fourth. Anthony Simons, so tough. Another disappointing loss for Sacramento. Another impressive win for Portland. Portland wins this one, dominating, leading the way with 26-9. After a great win, Sacramento suffers another tough loss. Keegan Murray on the season. Keegan Murray is now shooting 31 out of 113, 27% from three-point range this season. Tonight, he was 1 of 9 with 3 points. Because it's the in-season tournament, let's check out the standings. Houston leads Group A, San Antonio, OKC, Phoenix all tied in Group B, and in Group C, Golden State leading the group. In the East, this is where things could get really interesting. Atlanta advanced, as we know, in Group C. Milwaukee and Detroit tied for the top of Group B, and Orlando and New York in Group A. We could see some young teams get an opportunity on a big stage in Vegas.